Hey, hey, I'm Bentley Kyle Evans, and welcome back to another episode of the Hollywood Blueprint. And today we're talking about the very first independent film that I produced called Rude Boy, the Jamaican Don. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the first independent film that I was ever involved in from a producing standpoint. And I would say that this film is what prompted me to really understand what show business was really about. And it came years after I had already been in show business, by the way. But this was a film that I produced, executive produced, called Rude Boy, Rude Boy, the Jamaican Don. And Rude Boy was 100% independent. We shot a lot of Rude Boy right here in my backyard, and we shot a lot of it in various locations in LA and also in various locations in Kingston, Jamaica, which I flew an entire crew over there. First time I had ever done anything. It was really an experiment, and I have to say it wasn't really my idea. It was a brainchild of Trent Gums, who actually is my business partner with Harvest Studios. And Trent came to me. He and his brother approached me about doing a film, and I didn't think it could be done. I was like, "What are you talking about doing a film?" And they said, "Man, we got cameras. We want to shoot this film called Rude Boy. It's with these Jamaican stars, and it's a crime thriller, and it's that kind of film, gangster movie." And I was like, "Yeah, gangster movie, like Boys in the Hood, Menace to Society, when you think about gangster flicks." So I was like, all right. So what I did, instead of me getting involved from the beginning, I advanced them a little bit of money so that they could go down to Jamaica, source it out. And when they went down there, they shot some footage and shot some scenes, and they brought the content back to me in LA, and I watched it on my TV, and my mind was blown because I was thinking, wait a minute. We could just shoot our own movies. And it was just like it took that wake up call for me to realize that you don't have to wait on the big studios like Warner Brothers, who I had been previously employed by, or Universal or Fox or any of those companies. You can do it on your own. And so that's all it took for me to see that these guys took a little bit of change that I advanced them, and they brought me back some footage. Now, at that point in time, I said, okay, if I'm going to get involved in this, the script has to be really good. So I took the script that they had already written and had available, and I added my 2 cents to that script and really made it into something that I could respect. I had already written a film called A Thin Line Between Love and Hate through the studio systems. And so I knew that I could, help pin this thing and make it into a better product. And so that's what I did. And then once I did that, I made the full commitment to just invest $100,000 into the film. And we went down to Jamaica. We hooked up with a good friend of mine that we met named Sharon Burke, and she had the inside track on all the Jamaican stars, Beanie Man and Elephant Man and Ninja Man. These are all these Jamaican stars, like our hip hop stars. These are their dance hall stars. And I knew that they had extremely strong credibility in that region of the world. So it made sense for us to, we could get the talent for a very inexpensive cost, and we would be able to, get the locations for free. We didn't have to worry about permits. We didn't have to worry about any of that stuff. So it just made sense for us to try something. So we tried this, and it became much bigger. I ended up investing more money, and other people started investing money into it as well. And we shot a full-length feature film. Didn't know anything about putting something together like that independently. We had to get a sound guy off of Craigslist. I mean, we really did this grassroots, and the editors as well. We brought them in from Medford, Oregon. It was just a trip because it was like, hey, we're in it, so now we got to just keep going, keep going, keep going. And we finally got to the end of the road where we felt like we produced a great film. Trent's brother Desmond was the director of the film. Um, and so he had a little bit of a knowledge in that because he used to direct music videos. And so, again, this was my first time doing something without the studio behind me. So I was very nervous and I didn't know just how good it could be or how bad it could be. And I will admit it's probably not my greatest effort at producing anything, but it is the one film product that I did that gave me an advantage. It made me understand that you can do it all. I understood distribution by way of Rude Boy because we distributed the film ourselves directly to the movie theater owners and chains in the Caribbean. We also were able to get distribution through Artesian, which later became Lionsgate. And so we distributed the film. It's available out there right now. This was 2000. This was the year 2000. And so at that point in time, Trent and I formed an alliance and figured, hey, if we come together on some things, we can produce some things independently and not have to worry about getting permission from these studio heads. We could do it ourselves and we can distribute. And this was the time when DVDs were very prevalent. This was the time where you could create a show or a movie and you could drop it directly on DVDs. And that was a major part of the distribution system at that point in time. So we figured, hey, if we can make our own films and just drop them on DVDs, we don't have to worry about the theaters necessarily. We can make our money like that. Well, of course, DVDs went away and the business model changed, but it's still the same general idea to do something independent, have an idea, put it on paper, and put it out there. Now you can drop it on YouTube or you can drop it on, various streaming platforms in order to make your point. But at that particular time, none of that existed except for the DVD option and or getting it into the films itself. Now, we did get it into the films on the big screens all over the Caribbean. And I remember going to Spain myself and seeing Rude Boy in Spanish in the video stores, and that tripped me out. That was kind of cool because I could go in the store and buy it right off the shelf. But that was because we did our own distribution. We went through a gentleman by the name of Alan Solomon, who's no longer with us, but he had a company that sought us, and we sought him to help us with our distribution of that film. So I would have to say Rude Boy, although it was never a major hit, it is moderately a hit in the Caribbean. Most Caribbean people, especially Jamaican people, know of the movie Rude Boy, the Jamaican Don. It was done right around the time there was another big film coming out of there called Shatas, and we were kind of like their competition. But, we got a chance to really dig in and do something a little different. Again, when you're doing something independent like that, you got to use all your resources. I used my backyard. I used some parts of the interior of my house, the jacuzzi. We had film crews running through this backyard. My neighbors probably didn't know what was going on, but we made it into something that we could respect. And so Rude Boy was definitely a major part of my success story, in that it's the one product that really taught me about producing a film from scratch and getting it all the way to distribution and for the world to be able to see it on different platforms.